Time for some reacception. We are going to watch from Corridor Crew a video that they put out in November of 2019. We made Star Wars R-rated. I did see on my own time the Marvel R-rated one, which was pretty cool. Haven't seen this one yet. This is a top reward tier request from patron and good friend David Gandinator. Let's watch this.
I am your father.
I wanted the deep voice, but I chose wrong.
Star Wars. It's a war movie, right? Star Wars. But the thing is, even the edgiest Star Wars movie is only rated PG-13. And you know, I'm wondering, what would it look like to actually make Star Wars rated R, to make it authentic?
Badass, probably.
What happens when you get shot with a laser gun? Right now, it's just a little puff like you're in Power Rangers. But you will see me blasting like a hole through your body. Star Wars does really have a charm as its innocent hero adventure film. But for this one video, we're gonna do something special. We're gonna give you a taste of what Star Wars would be like if it was rated R.
Not the whole movie?
He's got lovely
We're gonna
eyes.
do a what if here. What would it look like if it was made for adults?
What if we replace the lightsabers with like katanas?
It's just Earth Wars, man.
Just Earth.
Oh!
Jokes to do. You could actually make it look painful now. Veins start to bulge and like their eyes start to go like this.
Oh,
you know?
cool. That'd be smart.
Okay, so this is the darkest moment in the entire prequel trilogy. Order 66.
This one could be this. Obi-Wan! We wrote about the parachute.
Oh no, they're gonna demolish that creature, aren't they?
What's this guy doing?
Tall head.
Oh, he's so Akira style, just like yeah, just everything. Look at these like dumb Jedi. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me here. Oh, what's this? Wait, Clint, you don't know about this scene?
No.
How do you not know about this scene?
Master Skywalker. He falls through a trap door in the floor, and you hear ah. Until you hear a thump. And then splat. And then in this
What the hell are they? What?
What's it cut to after this?
Order 66 feels pretty appropriate. I think so. Like,
Yeah, man, it's the massacre scene.
We can all come together and take a moment from that.
let's say do Obi-Wan hitting the rocks. I'll do tall head.
Obi-Wan hitting the rocks?
The kid shot. Alright guys, we got work cut out for us.
The light speed. Let's hope we don't have a burnout.
Attractive footage, that's easy. Extend the shot a little bit more to make it longer, that's easy. Clean plate the water out, that's easy. First challenge comes with replacing the water with rocks, but honestly that's pretty easy too.
Yeah, this is all easy. I could do all this.
In a sweet rock asset,
It's gonna be our new channel.
Boom, it's in. But you say, hey, what's that stuff bouncing around the rocks? Well, those are lizards made in Cinema 4D. I couldn't find Obi-Wan's lizard, steed, beast. So what I did was just got some dinosaur from Turbo Squid and chopped that up. Threw some dynamics on it and gave it some initial force down to the ground. Most of the dinosaur has disappeared. But I'm filling that in with blood and smoke and mirrors.
So messed
and
up.
crap. You guys are gonna have to wait to see that. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Don't pull that crank. Don't yank that chain. Don't flush the toilet, because we'll be back. I sense a disturbance.
In what, Jake?
In
The Force?
no. In the internet. There's a dark side to the internet.
Oh,
and a light
no.
side. The only way
An ad.
to balance is through today's sponsor, ExpressVPN.
Smart.
You see, without a VPN, you could fall prey to the dark side because hackers, internet providers, and cell phone providers can just take your information and do whatever they want with
They're
it.
allowed to just put sponsored segment there.
Using a
guess for the
VPN,
time code.
ExpressVPN encrypts that information and makes sure it's protected and safe. They've got best-in-class encryption. They have 24/7 customer support.
Couldn't people just skip this? Just go past the counter?
Maybe the counter helps people realize how short the ad is, and they reverse psychology stay.
Also, if you sign up for 1 year, you get 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/CorridorCrew. You can get ExpressVPN and never fall prey to the dark side.
This is delightful.
I wonder how many cameramen they got working.
Here is the original shot. The Jedi can't handle literally 2 stormtroopers shooting at him. I wanted to make this way more violent. If you've seen Akira, there's that one guy who's stealing the kid at the beginning. He gets all shot up by the riot police. I wanted to take those lasers. First off, not nearly enough lasers are being fired. So I went and I cranked up the lasers, and I perfectly matched my lasers, the lasers from the movie. And the reason they look really good is because I'm using Andrew Kramer's Saber plugin. Andrew basically went and made the best laser/lightsaber plugin for After Effects for free. It's on videocopilot.net. So if you need to do lasers,
What?
lightsabers,
Video
whatever,
co-
What?
there's a lot of really cool features.
Holding it
So I
down.
use that to duplicate these lasers and make my own. And I get shot a lot. I also used the liquefy tool to like have parts of his head burst as well as like clothing. This gives him motivation.
Oh, gross.
For all my blood spurts. I used Action VFX's Blood Hits pack. I just have a lot of blur going on for the initial frames when things are bright and hazy, and then it kind of sharpens up as the shot goes on. So one more thing I did some bullet hits. You have a bullet hit on his eye here, for example, and he gets shot in the side of the head. And the way I did that is I combined the flesh wound element from Action Essentials with a blood splat. And those two on top of him give him a pretty convincing blood splat.
Oh,
But as
gross.
a little
Damn.
touch, I put some blood splatters in the ground. I hope you enjoy a more accurate representation of what Stormtrooper lasers would do to you. Clone Trooper lasers, sorry, difference.
Thank God. About to yell at you.
Kind of hollow and incomplete, and I couldn't figure out why until I realized it was because I have this opportunity to do something that I'm sure everyone has always
He's
wanted.
gonna, when Jar Jar puts
And
this.
that's
Oh,
amazing
yes.
things.
Oh.
So I thought, what if instead of his tongue going numb, his whole head explodes? So looking at the shot from the outside, there's a few things that you gotta do. First, you gotta track the shot, then you gotta create a clean plate that goes where he is. I added him back in with some like find edges effects and some turbulent displace on top of that to kind of get that electrical sort of look on top of all of him.
Sure.
Jar
Jar.
Something like this, more is better. Having a lot of different elements. You got the lightning, you have the
Oh,
spark,
shit,
you have the
you got teased it in the
teared
background.
Skin of a cloth simulation. You have the actual blood burst. You have smoke bursts. It kind of just gives that misty look. So you actually have like some vaporized blood. And then to top on severed head. Beautiful.
Enjoying this way too
How many
much.
elements is enough elements? The answer is never. That's not it. You can never have enough elements. Always
Dude,
put in
that's
more,
so gross.
because chances are it'll look better when you have
Oh,
more contrast and variety in visuals going into something. The thing you want to be careful about is hitting that point of just visual noise where there's so much stuff happening.
So dense, every single image has so many things going on.
You want to make sure each thing that you add is distinct. Now this is an example of using just nothing but existing video files that I already had that I can just throw in there a la carte. But Sam over there is actually working on a custom blood simulation for his shot. And that'll be one of a kind. I want to see that.
What makes these little experiments so great is it opens up these opportunities for us to explore and learn and try some new techniques we've been wanting to do. For my shot, I got just
Oh, is that Home Alone?
experimenting with this new plugin
Oh my
called
goodness, I think
X-Particles,
so.
which allows us to simulate fire, smoke, liquids, soft bodies, rigid bodies, young Jedi bodies. These bodies are plumb full of midichlorians. I got to put that to work today.
He falls through a trap door in the floor, and you should.
So he's falling so fast that his body combusts into a million little pieces. If you actually watch the scene where he threatens the babies with the lightsaber, it immediately cuts to Padme's apartment. So we took that cue. This is probably where he's gonna land. Basically, I'm gonna have the youngling hit the glass of Padme's apartment. So this is very strong glass. I'm not gonna have the glass like shatter into pieces, but I'm going to have the youngling explode into pieces. So the way I want to do that is using a fluid simulation. So in order to make a fluid simulation, I need to model the environment roughly. This is my little environment here. So we have a floor area here. Here's our glass. So rather than actually simulate something falling down and exploding, I basically just have the body at the glass, and I'm using this really rough model of like arms and legs as the source in which the liquid is going to emit from. I've got all this fluid here. I'm basically just saying, just go from this moment. Because honestly, if something's falling from that high velocity, it's gonna go all over the place. Basically,
Sure.
and I'm just telling the fluid, hey, fluid, I want you to have a lot of friction. You know, I want it to stick and slide a little bit. Now that I have my particles simulated here, I actually have to take a mesher. It basically looks at these particles and builds a mesh around them. Turns these particles into something
Fascinating
and physical. Boom.
Wow.
Oh, how interesting.
Exploding all over the place. It's very messy. Now, the second half of the blood
Okay.
is one of those cool advanced techniques I've never messed with before. It's called making a wet map. This is really good for splatters and stains, the trail of the fluid that follows something like this. Like if I had a sponge and I just wiped it on the wall, it would leave a wet trail behind. So hence the name wet map. These particles now are painting residual smearing of like some goop running down the glass. Boom! And you see how that stuff is exploding? Holy frick.
Today we are watching all of our hard work together. We each worked on a shot, and now it's time to watch them all together with glorious sound design. I know Cliff did some VO.
Spoiler, that's gonna be good.
Hey, we decided to make Star Wars naughty because we're all big boys.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see what we got.
The fleet has moved up to flight speed and we're preparing to...
Oh no.
Jar Jar, before it pulls energy bind, if your hand gets that in the beam, it's
Oh, his head landed there. I did not see that.
Execute Order 66.
Oh no.
There goes your Obi-Wan show. Oh, tall head. Oh.
You got it, boss.
Bring
our little girl close to the window so she can see me. What the hell? Honey, they're shooting at me. Get our daughter out of there. We're going down. Get our daughter out of there.
Whoa. No. Not the younglings.
Here we go.
Oh.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Hype.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yes, makes it grow. You must feel the force around you.
I can't. It's too big.
Size.
Oh no.
Don't remember size, do you? For my ally is the force. And a powerful ally it is.
You
Made it green.
Oh no.
That's Lightsaber? Bring our daughter to the tower.
Honey, they're shooting at me. Get our daughter out of there.
expecting that.
For all the effects we added, like Nick found a good scene. That was a good one.
Jar Jar face though.
Yeah, Jar Jar's face just landing on the.
Oh, it's so great.
I cut it out above his bottom jaw, so it's just the top part of his jaw, his tongue wiggling out. So rough. And it's rated R.
Yeah. So do you guys think George Lucas is gonna see this and like squeeze it into his special edition?
I hope so.
How it was really meant to be. Did you hear that he had an extra like special edition that he's been sitting on for years for the newest release of A New Hope? And when it came out on Disney Plus, there's actually a new edit around when Han shoots Guido.
McClunky.
Guido. Oh. That was
Well done.
delight. I think that's what George Lucas ought to have done, going back and CGing the original movies. Just add blood and guts.
I love that final Yoda bit. It's funny how far an unnecessary censorship can take you. Just a little bit of a blur, just a little bit of green in the background of that blur, and you got a big Yoda schlong.
It reminded me, even though this predates My Stick, it reminded me of the My Stick bad lip dubbing a little bit at the end there.
The idea of Star Wars being R-rated, where it could possibly go, I think the theory with the lasers is that the laser cauterizes the wound, though, right?
Yeah. Superheat.
Yeah, so this video doesn't make any sense, Corridor Crew.
Yeah, we're just physics, man.
You gotta understand what you're doing. For what they added onto it, it did make me kind of want to see like a full rated R version. And you know, Star Wars is never gonna go down that path, even with something like Rogue One, which I think they could do whatever effects they did here for Rogue One and make an R-rated version of that, considering sort of the tone of that and the violence that's in there as well. I was more impressed with the littler things that they did here, like the force choking. When the blood vessels are coming out, eyeballs starting to bleed, like their eyes are popping out of their head.
So gross.
I found that really impressive. It's just like a little nugget of a physics detail that I think would be more effective. That's why Tarantino had to choke Diane Kruger in Inglourious Basterds, so you can get the veins in the eyes popping out.
Gotta be an authentic choke.
And now Star Wars needs to do that. I'm surprised they never have done something to enhance that, though, when you think about it, especially with a choke, because an actor doing.
Whoa, are you okay?
No, right? Very
So
believable.
real. Oh my god.
When someone is being choked, they do start to have these, like their blood vessels do start to show, and their face
whole
turns
head
red or
gets
purple.
red.
Yeah, so I think that wouldn't put you in R-rated. I mean, with the degree they did here, yeah, but I think they could borrow a little bit of notes from this Corridor Crew video of how to enhance like certain little elements like that. But I did love a lot of what they did. I think the Topher Grace cut of the prequels could be great if he just included that one moment of Jar Jar's head exploding. And that explains why Jar Jar's not in the rest of the Topher Grace cut of the prequels.
So violent. Yeah, actually that would be perfect. Just cut it right in. I mean, like it's a fan edit anyway, so if you just take this footage. I like that this ran a gamut between like simple effects and then more complicated ones. Like you started out with the one Jedi guy getting shot up by the clone troopers, and it's like, I'm just gonna add like a wound and a blood splat, and with the motion blur it looks pretty much like an eye socket hole. And then, you know, going over to the more complicated, I'm trying a technique I've never tried before with the whole kid exploding against the glass. And I appreciated those little nuances they left in the scene. Padme turns around and just like looks at the blood dripping down and begins to cry, and just totally recontextualizes the scene.
And no matter how depressed, disheartened Padme looks, Corridor Crew's just cracking up.
No, dude! Not the kid!
I thought it was really impressive how they were able to. It's something that might seem very little, but replacing the lightsaber in Anakin's hand in that moment when the youngling does ask him, like, "What are we going to do, Master Skywalker?" They replaced it with the hype button. You know, that little thing, because that lightsaber is taking up a good chunk of the screen, and then when they take out the lightsaber, they have to fill in the rest.
Paint all that out.
And I'm sure that's like simple for them, but to me, I find that really impressive where you don't even notice any of that. Maybe because my eye was just immediately drawn to the hype button because I was expecting a lightsaber. But the way they do fill in the gaps where the lightsaber should be, I think is a really impressive trait that they can do with all these videos.
Yeah, man, they bring a lot of personality with them. I feel like there should just be a corridor. Like, instead of the new George Lucas cut, they should just do a corridor cut.
I like when they do cut around to them just hanging out, reviewing the footage that they've done, especially after they presented all of it and they were just chit-chatting about all they accomplished, and they got a guy who's like recording them as if it's like a documentary or something like that. I wonder what it is like hanging out with all of them in that studio, because they're clearly very, very hardworking people and are very smart. So I gotta imagine that when you're a bunch of people working at a computer, it's probably just really quiet there a lot of the time. Like the way the footage makes it look like is that they're just hanging out and laughing all the time, and maybe they are.
No, that's all CG.
From my perspective, though, I was under the impression that when they're working, it's just a bunch of people looking at a computer and they're not really talking to each other for most of the day. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it is here. Every day.
Pretty much, yeah. There's just two of us.
Divide up into the two desks and click, 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 click. But you know, neither of us knows After Effects yet, so we can't. We should go back and redo all our sketches R-rated. Just add in.
Cut out all the effects Kyle Eilerman did for us on those VFX shots and then just replace it with our best. I do think that one day Star Wars should attempt to do something that's R-rated. DC, what they've been doing with making some R-rated properties has been working out pretty well for them. Even though the whole Marvel Fox deal happened, there is Deadpool and there was Logan. Like Star Wars seems to be the one franchise that I can't see ever going R. I just can't fathom them actually willing to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the original movies and they are so, I mean, you know, there's peril and there is war, but there's, your leads are so plucky and gung-ho, you know?
Yeah, but when you do movies like Rogue One, I feel like those like standalone films could benefit off of having a bit of a R-rated flair to it. Even if they do stuff that like teeters on R rating but doesn't quite hit there, I think that would be something people would really want to tune in for. They're the one franchise where I just can't ever see them actually going down that route. But if they did, I think a lot of people would want to go check it out. The first R-rated Star Wars film, that would be pretty sweet. Like you just do a standalone, you know?
I think everybody would go see that one just for the sheer question mark of the whole thing. Like, no matter if you're a diehard fan, if you hate what's been going, like, everyone would be like, I gotta see what this is.
Super sexual, super violent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's not just the violence too. You find out what sex is like in the galaxy. You find out what dysfunctional relationships are like in the galaxy. You know, get a lot of swearing in there. Have it be like a Tarantino movie. Instead of Star Trek, he should do Star Wars. Perfect.
And instead of swear words, I mean, use swear words, but use, you know, galactic swear words. You know, something like that. And that could benefit them.
You glorp.
Alright, well, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Corridor Crew. You can subscribe to us, click our notification bell. David Gandy, thank you for requesting this, dude. David, I know you're a huge Star Wars nut. You went to Galaxy's Edge last year. Now they open up Rise of the Resistance. I hope you get a chance to go back there. Lead the rebellion in conquering the First Order. Perfect guy for it. You totally got those leadership qualities that are waiting to be awakened out of you. The Force needs to be awakened within you. One day, dude, don't worry, I will watch Star Wars Rebels. And when I say one day, maybe 10 years from now. When people stop asking me to watch it. When the pressure's gone. Same thing with Clone Wars. But in the meantime, thank you for being part of our Patreon page, buddy. And thanks for always sending us over some awesome videos to check out, further educating our mind.
If you do become an intergalactic general of some kind, make sure you serenade your troops with your guitar and your martial arts skills. Make some kind of interpretive dance, because we don't see the artistic world of Star Wars, and you could bring that to life.
Very good.
Thanks.